Well, somebody told me, a fan told me I need to do another fish tank video. I'm minus a algae eater. So, there's algae on the glass. I did a little bit of cleaning here a couple days ago, but I still need an algae eater. It's kind of funny how they all hide. Like you never see anything because they hide. Except for these guys. They don't hide. These actually were trying to breed here. I hope they don't do that again. They get awfully mean. You get awfully mean when you want to make babies, buddy. Yes, you do. But they had cleaned the pipe off of that intake tube and laid a million eggs on it. And then they started chasing everything around, bumping them and nipping them. They were just like absolutely going nuts. They're pretty though. Yes, they are. I'll back out a little bit here. Not a lot to see. I guess if I put a little food in here, that might help, huh? Like the gouramis hiding down in there, you can see them. It's a little orange gourami. He's hiding actually from the angelfish and me now. Look at him. Scoot over to the left. Little albino catfish. He's just sitting there chilling. And I got a couple of these guys. These are catfish also. Sorry about all the wobbling around. You can see the algae. I had to get rid of the algae eater though. He got too big. He was like 1.5 feet long and he was meaner than mean, man. Like I had a mean streak in him. 10 miles wide. Oh, there's the talking catfish coming out. Chocolate, what is this? Striped chocolate talking catfish. You gonna talk to me, buddy? Huh? I know I can't hear you, but maybe they can on the video. Huh? Yeah, he's getting pretty big too. He might be talking. Hard to tell. Hard to focus with all the green junk on the glass. The water's clear though. I kind of like to keep, like, I don't know about other people. I keep the water clear, and I have 2 filter systems. And I change out the water maybe once a month, or sometimes, like in the summer, maybe a couple times, a month. You can see where I was trying to scrape some of the green stuff off back there on the back. It's just getting ugly, but I don't mind, like having that. You know that your tank is healthy when things are growing. Just the way it is. And I've thought about like putting live plants in here, but I don't know. It changes the dynamic a little bit. Maybe causes more work for me on cleaning. I don't know. I'll have to check into it. I was hanging out with my buddy today at Seven Seas Fish Shop in Clovis. If you guys are like, I've often thought about doing salt, salt tank, but I'm so busy, like not doing anything but laying around, and I don't want to make myself that busy. And then looking at the prices, $50 a fish. You gotta have all this live coral, live sand, live rock. I mean, they're beautiful and everything, but boy, is it expensive. And one little thing goes wrong, and you have a major investment die on you. And I don't mean just the fish either. I mean like the live rock, the everything, the coral, the clams. I mean, there's so many things. The sea anemones, whatever. But I mean, like, if something goes wrong in a freshwater tank, like, personally, I haven't bought any fish in, I would say, 10 years. Maybe 7 years ago, I bought those guys that are down in there. You can see his fin. It's those clowns. To eat all the snails that came with some live plants, I decided to do some live plants, and with the live plants came a bazillion snails, and the snails got all in my filter system and all over the place, and I mean, it was like you couldn't even see in the tank because of snails. So I bought them. Those are the only ones I bought. All the rest are rescue fish. People that decide they don't want a fish tank. In fact, that's this tank. I started off way a long time ago. Actually, after my kids grew up, because I did fish tanks when I was a kid, but when we started raising kids, fish tanks and kids don't mix. They throw stuff in them, they fall in them. So I got rid of the fish tanks, and then recently, 15 years ago, 18 years ago, the kids all left, and it was time to put a tank together. I started off, somebody had a 10-gallon tank, and I took it, with the fish. It had some guppies and stuff, and then somebody else came along with a 20-gallon, and with the fish, so I upgraded, and now here I am at a 55-gallon, and it's the same thing. They were moving, and they didn't want to do the fish anymore, so I took the 55. In fact, if anybody's listening to this, I really would love a cartridge filter system. Instead of a hang on the back, these hang on the back types. Even though I've changed the hang on the back types to I guess you could say, a cartridge, because I pulled all those stupid little, those cartridges. You start doing fish tanks, and then you gotta buy these filters, and then the filters, they get dirty really fast, so then you gotta buy new filters, and they're like $20 for a 3-pack. And I did that. I've been doing that for like 10 years, and then I decided, okay, that's it. I'm just gonna take those out, and I'm just gonna pack it. Let me show you. Okay. So I just packed it with all the biologicals like that. I don't know if you can see that very good. Let me see. I'll turn on the light. Okay. But anyways, what I did was I just took a sponge and threw it down in there where the water comes in from the tank. I got my biologicals, and then I just took the stuff that you would use in a cartridge filter, and I just cut it to fit in the place where those little cartridges go, right? And now I just, every, I don't know, month or so, I change those blue, I just cut new little sections out. I rinse out the biological, I rinse out the sponge in the fish water when I'm doing the change. And I have a cartridge filter hanging on the back, and no more $20 a month, right? And then, well, you know, I did that, and when I was out, like, looking at it, I found an actual, like, hang on the back, kind of like cartridge filter. And it's the same thing. It's got a sponge on the bottom. It's kind of cool. It was a little bit expensive, but when you're looking at, you know, paying all this other stuff for the cartridges, you know, so spend $50. You're not going to do it again for a long time. You can rinse that sponge out. You can rinse out the biologicals, and it just slides right down in there, right? Well, it's supposed to slide right down in there. And I actually kind of got a deal on it because, I mean, and then this thing right here, like when you're feeding, you can move this over to a slower flow, right? It slows the flow down so it doesn't suck all the food up before the fish eat it. And I kind of like that, you know, but I still want I still want a cartridge thing. But anyways, see the crack? It has a crack in it. So I kind of got a little bit of a discount because it was broke. But so far, I love this thing. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. You can tell, see, like, there's debris now floating around because I messed with that. But the fish, they'll eat. It's mostly food, and they'll eat it up, and then whatever they don't eat up, it'll suck it all back up. But I just wanted to was told by a fan a couple of times now by different fans, like, hey, you know, we haven't seen a fish video in a while. It's like, okay, I can do a fish video. I'm a little bit embarrassed with the algae, but it's not killing anything, and it's just like maybe a little bit ugly. But I'm okay with it until next week I'm going to get a plecostomus, and I did some research because I've had several algae eaters, and they're nasty little fish, and then they're little when you first get them, but then they turn into these 2-foot long, ugly, armored things. I mean, they eat the algae, but they also ram the fish, and they suck, like on the angelfish, they'll suck the scales off the side of them. You know, they'll just grab onto them and just drag them down and suck them, you know, the scales off. I don't know if they're looking for some type of vitamin. I don't think they're meant to really gonna hurt the angelfish intentionally. I think they're after whatever is growing on the angelfish, I think. But you know, so next week I think I'm gonna go for they have this one plecostomus. It's like a bottle nose or bristle nose or whatever, bristle nose I think it is. And then I heard about the high costomus. They say they only grow like maybe 6 inches at the most, and they're voracious. They like to suck on all that green stuff back there. You know, they'll eat it off of the logs and all that stuff. You know. Well, there he is, the clown. He's backing out. Unless I actually bring some food around, he'll hide. There's 2 of them in there. It's kind of weird how they lay on their side. Every once in a while, my grandkids will come and tell me I have dead fish, and they're looking in there, and these fish are laying on their side sleeping. It's kind of weird. But you can see them in there, and they're pretty big. But I hope you enjoyed my little video. I don't want to do anything too long, you know, bore everyone to death. You know, I love doing fish. They don't bark, they don't bite, they don't piss on the carpet. Even though you do have to do a little maintenance here and there, it's negligible compared to lugging around 20-pound dog food bags and cleaning poop and scooping poop, and you know the drill, all you animal lovers. Back in the day when my kids were little, we had 10 geese and 60 cats and 4 dogs and 3 horses and 1 goat and 6 kids and 40 neighbor kids. I'm kind of retired from that now. These things are corralled. They don't eat my roses. They don't break my drip lines. They pretty much just stay right where I put them. I don't know what he's doing, but he seems to be busy. And I can see the catfish in there. I can see him sticking out. He's looking the other way this time. I think he got bored of me. Oh, look, there he popped out to say hello. I didn't think he was going to do it. He thinks I'm going to feed him, I think. I finally bought some food for this guy, like pellets. I know they can eat the flakes, but he really likes to eat. So I had to give him something a little more substantial, you know. There's the other one. You can see his tail in the back of that log. I think he's figuring out I'm not throwing pellets, so he might disappear on me again. You know, click your lips. Maybe I'll give you a treat. I thought about buying some frozen shrimp and throwing in here maybe some bloodworms. They're pretty fun to watch. Maybe next time I feed them, I'll do a little video. Anyways, this is getting a little long. I know it's boring, but I thought for the few people that wanted this, I would give it to them. I hope I didn't talk too much. Maybe next time I'll just let the tape run and just let it be fish and the sound of water hitting water. Y'all have a very good weekend. Don't forget to tune in Sunday night at 6 p.m. We have Betsy Lewis on the Paranormal Central, and I am sure we're going to talk about that Bigfoot that we caught. At least I think that's what we caught on our camera, on the game camera. That was quite a shocking thing. They usually avoid cameras, but we've been getting pretty dang lucky lately. So don't forget to tune in Sunday night at 6 p.m. on live stream Paranormal Central. You can watch it on your Roku, or you can wait a couple of days and I'll have it up on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. And have a good night, all.